Hi everyone, I'm Abigail Cederlin, and this week's Tuesday tip is about vocal warm-ups, and specifically warm-ups using a straw. Might sound weird, but we'll get to that in just a second. So first, I just want to go over quickly why it's important to warm up your voice before doing any vigorous singing. So your voice is a series of muscles, and they're really small, and they're in this area mostly, but you're really using muscles throughout your whole body when you're singing. So warming up is it's like a stretch. You know, if you think about an Olympic athlete, they're not going to just go right into whatever their sport is without any kind of warm-up, because they would probably hurt themselves. Maybe they'd be okay, but they're more likely to get injured if they haven't really stretched and warmed up the muscles that are going to be used. So it's the same thing for singing. So any type of warm-up that's gradually getting your voice going is better than nothing. So you could start in a part of your range that's really comfortable. Humming is good. You could just do single note, something like that. But I want to also specifically talk today about using a straw for warm-ups. So this is just a regular old drinking straw. And this type of exercise is called semi-occluded vocal tract exercise. So what that means, semi-occluded, means we're partially blocking or occluding your vocal tract, which is basically the distance from your vocal cords to your mouth, where the sound is traveling through and being shaped. So by blocking some of that space, we're limiting the airflow. So that is the big reason that the straw is helpful, is it restricts the amount of air that's coming through your vocal cords, which keeps you from pushing. Because most of the times, if you're pushing your voice or straining, part of that is that you're pushing too much air pressure through the vocal cords. So with the straw, you just go, you just sing through the straw, right? You could do any pattern, whatever you want to do. It's important to check though and make sure that you're not cheating by blowing the air through your nose. If I do I'm actually just humming, so I can check by, if I am humming and I try to plug my nose, it's not going to work. That stopped the sound. If I'm actually really only letting the air go through the straw, blocking my nose won't have an effect. Right? Same thing. So you can use a regular drinking straw like this. You can also use those little tiny coffee stirring straws if you want to really challenge yourself. It's hard though, especially most singers are used to using more air than they need. So limiting your airflow, it's retraining your muscles, which is really important, but it might be hard at first. So another way that you can use this is by putting your straw into a glass of water and blowing bubbles. So the water adds a little more resistance to the air, so that gives you a little more occlusion, takes a little more strain off your vocal cords and makes it a little gentler. Also, the bubbles in the water give you a visual representation of your airflow, which is great if maybe you could use this if there's a part of a song you're having trouble with or something that you can't quite get right. A lot of times you might see a big burst of air bubbles right at that problem spot, and then you can see, oh, I'm using too much air, and then that gives you an idea of how to fix it. So with the bubbles, it would be something like, or whatever. You could do single long notes, whatever you want to do. So those are just a couple of tips about the straw. And again, I just want to briefly touch on overpressurizing your voice and why you should avoid that. A lot of singers don't realize that it takes less air than we think to make a sound. So if you don't know how your vocal cords work, or vocal folds is the more correct term now, they vibrate together with the airflow. So your lungs are down below, your mouth is up above, and there's little flaps, they close, and they vibrate kind of like this. As the air is flowing through, they're doing this kind of a motion. If there's more pressure underneath the vocal cords, like if you're really squeezing out that air, then instead of gently vibrating, it's more like this. And they have to really close more forcefully, so you're going to get tired a lot faster. And that's actually one of the things also that can contribute to vocal fold nodules, or nodes as they're commonly called. Overpressurizing is a big contributor to that, or it can be. So that's why it's important to check how much air you're using. Straw is really handy. It's also great for if you're traveling, you can have a way to quietly practice without the whole hotel hearing you or whatever. I like to take a straw with me if I know I'm going to be staying in a hotel, but I still might want to do some vocalizing while I'm there. So I hope you enjoyed our Tuesday tip for this week. If you'd like more information about warming up and how to do that, stay tuned. You can subscribe to my page here or follow my blog, abigailcederlin.com. I'm going to be having more warm-up routines coming soon. Thanks and happy singing!